music theory lesson today. I'm Josephine Koh here, and I hope you have worked out the exercises in topic 1 of the grade 6 Practice the Music Theory workbook. In the previous lessons, I presented the principles of voicing, doubling, chord progressions, which laid the foundations for realizing a series of chords in today's lesson for figured bass. So if you have been tuning in, good for you. I'm going to show you today some secrets to getting and writing perfectly correct progressions. So what is figured bass? It is actually the Baroque method of notating chords using numbers and accidentals below a given bass line. Let me show you an example from Corelli's Trio Sonata. Here you can see the chords which are to be played by the keyboardist. They are notated in figured bass, of which the keyboardist has to improvise chords. You will also notice that the harmonic notes are also played by other instruments above. So, how do we actually realize these chords? How do we interpret and understand figured bass? Let us take a look at the workbook. On topic 2, page 17.
Here are the tonic chords of C major. In the root position, the root note is in the bass and the chord being C, C, E, G. The intervals formed from the bass are a fifth, a third, and an octave. The figured bass is arranged with numbers from the biggest to the smallest as 853, abbreviated as 53 or no figure. In the first inversion, the E is in the bass, the chord being C, C, E, G, forming the intervals of 6, 3rd, and 6. Thus 663, abbreviated to 63 or 6. In the second inversion, the fifth of the chord is being doubled and it is also in the bass, thus the chord notes are C, E, G, G. The formed intervals are a fourth, a sixth, and an octave. Thus we have 864, abbreviated as 64.
Let us look at the exercises on page 17. Here, the note B flat has a 6 as the figured bass. This means that the chord is in its first inversion. A chord in first inversion would thus have a bass note G. Thus, we would have a chord which is G, B flat, D. In that case, the chord is a chord 6 in B flat major. I'm using the extended Roman numerals. Here, it is a 6-4 chord. This indicates that the chord is in second inversion, which means it is in C position in the Roman extended notation. In this case, it would be B flat, D, F. In the last chord, we have in the key of B flat major, the bass note being C, but it has no figure against it. It means it is in root position. The notes would thus be C, E, G, and thus it is chord 2 in B flat major. If we were to harmonize the notes, this would become G, B, B, D. We double the B because it is a secondary chord. Thus, we can write the notes like this. For this chord, it is in a second inversion. Thus, B, D, F, F. We double the fifth of the chord. We can write the notes like this. In the last chord here, it would be C, E, E, G, doubling the third of the secondary chord 2. Isn't it simple? However, it is a different situation when we write a progression of chords. As you have learned from topic 1, when writing a series and progression of chords, it is necessary to follow the principles of voicing, doubling, as well as the principles of harmony pertaining to the harmonic and melodic elements. We have to avoid consecutive fifths and octaves, exposed fifths and octaves, as well as dissonances caused by certain intervals. Let us now look at exercise B on page 18. In this example, we have a bass line with the figured bass. This is in B flat major and it shall be harmonized. This is in root position without any figure, so it is chord 1. B, B, D, F. We can recognize that this is a C position chord. Obviously, it is F, A, C, being chord 5 in B flat major, and we will have to double the fifth. We must avoid having the C here, causing a consecutive octave, and thus we will put the C over here. So we have F being the common note in both of these chords, and A. In the next chord, it is the first inversion chord with the figure 6, so this is 1B. Again, the double note is B flat, so B, B, D, F. The next chord, being an E flat in the bass, without any figure, is a root position chord, and thus it is chord 4. To have good voicing, we can bring the melodic line downwards as this is going up. Last of all, this is chord 1 in B flat major, keeping the same note in the same voice for B, B, D, F. This can be the final harmonization. Notice that this is the fifth note of the key in the top voice. And sometimes for chord 1, we may not want to do that. Another possible solution is to keep the B flat in the highest voice, where you have E, E, G beat. In checking for consecutives, we will look for consecutive fifths and octaves by measuring the intervals between two notes in every chord, where there is a fifth and there is an octave. We will have to ensure that the fifth does not occur in the same voice, neither does the octave.
There are some symbols commonly used with figured bass. In this example, the note E has a horizontal line beneath it. This indicates that it is a passing note, and the chord preceding it will be used to harmonize it. In this example, there's a long horizontal line for the series of 4 notes. This indicates that the chord has to be indicated on the first beat and to be used for the rest of the beats. Sometimes we have accidentals written next to the figured bass. In this example, there's a sharp written next to the 6th figure. This means that the 6th note from the bass note is to be sharpened. In this case, it is G sharp in the key of A minor. In this example, we can see that the 5th has to be raised to a natural. From D, the note will be A natural, and this natural without a number next to it indicates that the 3rd from the bass is to be raised to a natural. In this case, it is B natural from G. We will realize that the A natural and the B natural are essentially the 6th and 7th notes of a melodic minor scale. In the key of C minor, you will notice that there's a natural here, which again indicates the 3rd from the bass note, which is E natural. The sound of the last chord becomes a tierce Picardy, which is a raised 3rd in the final chord.
Let us now harmonize a bass melody in a minor key. Here is the key of D minor. With the sharp indicated here, it means C sharp, a 3rd from the bass of A. Let us put it in the soprano voice. The leading note of C sharp will proceed to D. In this case, this is chord 5. We double the root of chord 5. Thus, these are the notes. You will notice a descending line of which there is a skip towards the end before proceeding to the dominant note. In this case, we have now F in the bass, which is a first inversion chord, and this becomes 1B. With the double tonic, it will be D, D, F, A, keeping A in the same part. Next, this is a passing note. It will not be harmonized, and we go to the next quaver. Here is D without a figured bass, and thus it is chord 1 in the root position. Once again, we will keep the common note D in the same tenor part. Thus, we will have D, D, F, A. Here, we have a first inversion chord with B flat in the bass, and thus it is G, B flat, D. The chord is chord 4. In its first inversion, we will double G, 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 B flat, D. You will notice that the soprano line moves in counter motion to the bass. This is a way to avoid making consecutive fifths and octaves or parallel fifths and octaves. Next, B flat is chord 6 in root position in D minor, doubling the third of chord 6. And finally, we arrive at the last chord, which is chord 5. It has a sharp here, and it indicates that the C sharp needs to be raised. To complete the exercise, you may be interested to add a passing note or two. In this case, we see 2 harmony notes, and it is possible to add an E here, which moves in contrary motion with the bass. In this situation, it is not good to add a passing note here, as this will cause consecutive fifths between the two parts. So this has to be avoided. So here we are with the progression for D minor. Let's look at how we can check for consecutive fifths and octaves or any other errors in the exercise. In every chord, there will be a fifth and an octave. In the next chord, there is a fifth here, and we'll see an octave. So you can continue to do that to make sure that there are no 2 pairs of consecutive fifths or parallel octaves occurring between any 2 chords between the same voices. I hope you like what I do for you today. Whether you're preparing for grade 6 ABRSM music theory exams, O-level music, A-level music, or simply to understand the concepts of harmony better. Do give me a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel below. Of course, it would be good if you would like to buy the grade 6 workbook, and I'll put the links below so you can look up for them.